to the 137th episode of the Dear Herbalist Podcast, titled Respiratory Wellness. That is what we are going to be talking about tonight. I am Dastaria, and tonight we are going to focus on one of the body's most vital and resilient systems, and that is called our respiratory system. Our respiratory system deserves year-round attention. I know a lot of times when people talk about it, they only focus on the winter or the cold and flu season, but it needs attention all year round. We have a lot of environmental and lifestyle stressors like air pollution, allergens, dry indoor air, and stress. All of these can challenge our lungs on a consistent basis. So this is the reason why we have to look at our lungs year around in this whole entire system. Herbs are not just for symptom relievers. They help restore balance, soothe inflammation, and support your mucosal immunity. Tonight, we're going to explore 3 cornerstone herbs: mullein, thyme, and licorice root. And I decided to focus on those 3 because they are strong roots that have an affinity to your respiratory system. So I wanted to kind of keep it simple tonight and focus on these 3 strong herbs. And I'm also going to talk about how to integrate them safely and effectively through teas, tinctures, and inhalations as well. So if you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. You are most certainly welcome. And if you're a returning listener, you guys know I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to listen and support this podcast. A real quick note, the website is up and live, www.thedemystifiedherbalist.com. Go over there and check out all of that free information that I am providing to you on everything herbal medicine for you, your children, your pets. It's a lot of information over there, so please go ahead and check it out. It is also set up as a learning hub as well. So there's a lot of resources, a lot of knowledge, a lot of scientific information, all of that good stuff, all for you guys. So please go check that out. Now, let's talk about understanding the respiratory system through an herbal lens. But we're going to talk a little bit about science first. So our lungs are more than just oxygen exchangers. They're also detox organs as well. The air that we breathe in, of course, comes through our lungs, and in the air, the toxic air that we breathe out, CO2, comes out of our lungs. And so our lungs are constantly filtering out particles, pathogens, and even emotional states when we often don't realize what we are carrying. From an energetic perspective, the lungs are also associated with grief, flow, and release. So how well we breathe reflects how well we let go. And that could be of tension, emotion, as well as stagnation. From a physiological perspective, the respiratory mucosa plays a huge role in defense. So it produces mucus to trap pathogens, and then the cilia that line our lungs, they sweep the debris out, and the immune cells guard all the entry points of the lungs. When that system is irritated or disrupted or is out of balance, let's say through smoke, dryness, or any type of infections, then inflammation arises and the clearance drops. And this is where the herbs will come in at this point. Most respiratory herbs that you have, and there's a lot of them out there, they're going to fall into one or more of these 3 categories. They're either going to be demulcents, and these soothe and coat irritated tissues. Expectorants, these type of herbs help loosen the mucus as well as get rid of mucus. And then antimicrobials or anti-inflammatory herbs, they fight infection and calm irritation. So when you are formulating your herbal remedies, I encourage you to think about combination. A balanced respiratory blend often includes 1 demulcent, 1 expectorant, and then 1 antimicrobial. And this is because the lungs rarely need just one type of action because of what job the lungs have to carry out. So let's talk a little bit more about these 3 herbs that I spoke about in my intro. And we will start with mullein. These herbs that I'm going to talk about, they do bridge, soothing, clearing, and protective actions very beautifully. So if you want to take these 3 herbs and combine them in a form, it would be great to do that, because it would definitely help you out. But let's talk about mullein. This one here, it's very soft, it's grounding, and it's deeply restorative to your irritated lungs. The actions that mullein carry are demulcent, expectorant, and they're a mild lymphatic, meaning that it soothes, it clears, and it helps the body process the waste more efficiently. The key properties of the mullein are that it's a mucilage, it has saponins in it, glycosides, and what happens is they coat and tone inflamed mucous membranes. And it's particularly good for those dry, unproductive coughs where the chest feels tight but nothing is moving. So this is the reason why you want to add this one, because it does provide a little softness to it, a little coating to kind of help get things moving along, especially if you have that dry, hoarse cough, or you hear it in your children or spouse or whoever that you're formulating for. So with mullein, you want to use it in teas. You can use it in syrups or inhalation steams. Or one thing that you want to remember is to always strain mullein well, because they have on the leaves these tiny little hairs that can irritate the throat if they're not filtered out properly. So make sure that you do that, because you don't want to further irritate already irritated lungs. So make sure that you filter it and strain it so that it can get down into your lungs and do what it needs to do, because it's moistening, it's softening. So it's almost like a big old hug for your airways, if that's how you want to look at it. And the next herb is thyme. Thyme is an antimicrobial. It's one of the most potent respiratory allies in your kitchen cabinet. A lot of people don't think about it like that. There's a lot in your kitchen cabinet that will really help you address a lot of common issues that people deal with. Most people don't realize it because they're just used to just sprinkling it on their food. But thyme is one of those that is really, really strong, really, really potent antimicrobial that can really help the body. It's also antibacterial, antiviral, it's bronchodilating, it's an antispasmodic. You know, one of the secret weapons that are within thyme is 2 chemicals called thymol and carvacrol, carvacrol. These are 2 volatile oils that fight pathogens and help open up your body's airways. So it's excellent for wet, congested coughs or when there's an infection brewing. It can also stimulate the little cilia that we talked about earlier. It helps stimulate those to actually move. And that natural sweeping motion of the lungs will help move mucus up and out while reducing the microbial load. One of my favorite ways to use thyme is as an inhalation steam. And what you can do is add a tablespoon of dried thyme and a tablespoon of mullein to a bowl of boiling water. And then you want to place a towel over your head, close your eyes, and breathe deeply for about 5 to 7 minutes. And you should feel your sinuses and your chest begin to open up almost immediately. So it's perfect before bed or after exposure to smoke or mold or any type of seasonal allergies. Now, one thing to remember when you're doing the steams is to make sure you don't have your face too close to the water or to the steam, right? Because you're not trying to create more problems for yourself by burning up your face. But the goal is to kind of create like this little mini chamber using the towel, and all you're breathing in is those steams. So just a little side note right there. Next we're going to talk about is licorice root. Licorice root is a harmonizer. It's a bridge herb of your respiratory system. It soothes, it balances, and it enhances the effects of the other herbs. Licorice is a demulcent, it's an adrenal adaptogen, and it's anti-inflammatory. Its key compound, and this is another word that I'm just like, what? Its key compound is glycyrrhizin, and it's glycyrrhizin. And this compound helps modulate cortisol and calm inflammation, while its flavonoids support the mucosal repair. It's wonderful for that raw sore throat when the whole system feels overworked. So a quick safety note with licorice is that you want to avoid it in high doses if you have high blood pressure or any type of kidney issues. Keep that in mind. But energetically, licorice is sweet, it's moistening, and it's harmonizing. And it has an ability to round out a formula very beautifully. So if I were to summarize these 3 herbs that I gave you, I would say mullein clears, thyme disinfects, and licorice soothes. So together they form a trifecta of respiratory resilience. So as always, right, I want to make sure to talk about how you prepare your formula. So you've chosen your 3 herbs. Now you want to know, how do I administer these herbs, or how do I prepare these herbs so that I can best extract the chemical properties from those herbs and be able to get them exactly where they need to go throughout the body. So with extraction, because what you pull from the herb, it determines what you deliver to the body, and that is through extraction. So there are different preparation methods that you can use to extract different compounds from the herbs. One, and this is most common, is through teas, and that can be through an infusion or a decoction. And they work best for demulcents like mullein and licorice. This is where you want the mucilage and the gentle water-soluble compounds to be extracted. So you would extract them through a tea. Next is tinctures. Tinctures are good because they're concentrated and they're portable, and they are ideal for thyme and for acute respiratory infections. Those is that sudden onset of a respiratory infection. That's what acute means. And then steams. Steams delivers the volatile oils from the herbs directly to the lungs and the sinuses, making them fast acting and aromatic. So anytime you have any type of issues with your lungs or with your sinuses, you want to look to formulating herbs and preparing them through a steam so that those chemicals can get directly into your lungs and address the issues that you are dealing with. Try this mini routine, I would say, for the next 5 days if you have an onset of a respiratory issue. I would try a morning steam with thyme, followed by an evening mullein and licorice tea. After you do this for 5 days, notice how your breathing feels and how your sleep shifts and how your energy levels respond, and write it down in your herbalist notebook or on another notebook or wherever you write down your information. But write it down and just kind of take note of that. It will definitely help you in the long run. And if something happens again, then you can go back to that and say, okay, this is how much I used. This is what I did. This was my routine. And this is how I was able to get through. Also, if you're talking to people, and they're like, oh, you were definitely sick the last time. Now you look good. You sound good. What did you do? Now you have that information written down, right? You can tell them exactly what you did and they could try it as well. So for this last little piece, we're going to talk about lifestyle integration. And why this is important is because, as with any type of herbal protocol, you cannot leave out lifestyle. You cannot leave out what people are doing or not doing or should be doing as complementary to the herbs. Because breathing, it's one thing, right? And herbs are powerful. They can help, but they're not the entire picture. Your lungs can thrive when they're supported by movement, hydration, and clean air. So there are some natural things, physical things that you need to do as well, or some things that you might want to stop doing, especially if you deal with respiratory issues. Some of the things that you can do is gentle daily exercise. And this could be a short walk, okay? Strong stretching, these type of things. Because what this does is that it enhances your lymphatic flow, which is your body's garbage can, as I like to say it, and helps stretch out your lungs, makes your lungs a little bit more elastic. Warm water and herbal infusions. This help keeps the mucosa of your lungs hydrated and functional. And one other key thing, especially with irritations, you want to stop with the irritations. I had one guy come up to me at one of my shows, and he asked me, he said, well, what do you have for, respiratory issues and lungs and all that kind of stuff? So I was talking to him about my Respiratory blend that I have and what's in it and what it can do and how it can help and that type of thing. But I asked him a quick question. I was like, how did it become irritated? What was going on? And he said, well, I smoke and I've been smoking for X amount of years. And I think that's where it came from. So I was like, okay, are you willing to work to stop smoking so that the smoke from the cigarettes can stop irritating your lungs? And he was like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. So I explained to him, I said, well, I can give you these herbs for sure, and they will help for sure, but it's not an end all be all. You have to stop the things that are irritating the lungs and damaging the lungs, in order for you to have a complete and total healing in that area. So he had a lot to go home and chew on and really think about. And that's something that we have to make sure that we're explaining to ourselves, our clients and people. It's like there's natural things that you need to do as well as take herbs. Herbs help. They provide the support, the cleansing, the balance. But if we are going to continue to do those things that disrupt or throw things off balance, then it's kind of like, we're shooting ourselves in the foot here, So make sure that if you have any type of lung issues, respiratory issues, that you don't do things to further, irritate your lungs. So things like smoke, synthetic fragrances, mold, all of these type of things can further irritate the lungs. So if you can work to avoid these things, that would be great. The great thing about the lungs is that they are self-cleaning. But sometimes, right, we are ingesting more toxins faster than the body can actually eliminate them. And that's what causes problems. That's what throws off systems in the body. And that's the reason why we have the issues we have. So we take the herbs to help the body to remember how to clean or to, activate sluggish systems and things like that. So these are the reasons why we use herbs. So ask yourself this season, how am I nurturing my breath this season? Right? Physically, emotionally, energetically, what do I need to release so that I can breathe deeper? Ask yourself those things. Pay attention to your surroundings, what you're breathing in, what's around you, these type of things. All right. So let's do a little recap. The lungs are our body's rhythm of exchange. And when we support them, we support vitality itself. Mullein, thyme, and licorice root offer a foundational trio for respiratory wellness, each contributing something unique yet synergistic. Choose your form. It could be a tea, tincture, or steam. And most importantly, stay consistent. The body's healing rhythm responds not to heroic doses, but to small daily rituals that restore flow. If you love this episode, please share it with someone who you feel would need it and benefit from it. And if you like to hear more like this, please send me emails, messages, also comment on videos and podcasts, and let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite respiratory blend. What have you combined together? And how has that helped you? Like I always said, let's build a community here. Okay? Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media channels. Go over to www.thedemystifiedherbalist.com. Check out all of that information that is there, all of the remedies, recipes, everything that is there for